Welcome to Oregon Voters Digest, the program that brings forward the social and political issues that are important to people living here in the Pacific Northwest. And now, your host, Bruce Broussard.
Welcome again to this segment of the Oregon Voters Digest. I'm Bruce Broussard, your host, and by George, we've got all kinds of things that are happening with us today. And, we're right in the midst of election, and wow, I mean, it's a huge time. People are so quiet right now. They should be communicating with their neighbors and everybody else. But the fact of the matter is, it's a whole new day now. But the fact of the matter is, as you know, we've been talking specifically about that particular issue. But I thought we'd take a break at this point in time because, in all due respect, the parade's going to be coming up here here very shortly. And I thought we'd have the chance, if you will, to interview the parade, if you will, in terms of the organizer of this particular parade, because it's been part of a historical piece in this community for quite some years, under the Rose Festival. That's it, and the so-called here in the Northeast Portland corridor. That whole piece. But the bottom line is you'll get a little bit better feel for what I'm talking to, because just so happening we're going to be talking to two pieces aspects of it. He happens to be the commander of an association that's well known. In fact, even one that I'm also associated with. But it's basically, you've always heard about the African American troops and things of that nature, Buffalo Soldiers and this, that, and the other. Well, guess what? He's part and parcel of the NAVVETS, National Black Veterans Association. He's the commander and executive director. He just happened to be a former Marine too. Well, there's no former, he's a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. But he wears the globe and anchor also, like myself. Just so happened I've known him for a number of years, and whatever. Napoleon Hodges. He is the commander of the NAVVETS aspect of it, but he also has he's also kind of like the organization that sort of pretty well organize and maintain the parade here in the city of Portland, which was something that has been here for a number of years, but they needed an entity to keep it going, and they called the Marines out. And he's here with me today. Welcome aboard. How you doing, Napoleon?
I'm doing pretty good, Bruce. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, hey, man. Well, better than that, no, you've been here, buddy. You've been doing a lot of things here with that organization, and we want to, as part of the city, we want to thank you very much for keeping that parade going. But before we get into the parade, let's talk a little bit about yourself and the organization that you're a part of. And I know you're very much involved in that deal, and I want to make sure that the viewing public get a chance to get an understanding what is NAVVETS, but then just share with us a little bit, because I know you're in the Marine Corps. Why don't you introduce the Marine Corps first?
Okay, so basically, my name is Napoleon Hodges. I am the commander of NAVVETS Portland. Yes. And I did 10 years active duty in the Marines.
Oh, wow.
Most fun I had, right?
All right.
And basically, I came across NAVVETS in 2009. They've been in existence since 2006.
Okay.
I'd never heard of them. I found them by accident, and I didn't know what NAVVETS meant, and it was National Association for Black Veterans.
Right.
So I went to their office trying to see about maybe getting a job.
Yeah,
I was unemployed at the time.
Exactly. Okay.
And I walked in the office, and there was one person in the two-man office. He was sitting at a desk, had folders stacked all around him, playing some jazz music, and I knocked on the door to let him know I was there, and I said, "Well, are you guys hiring?"
Wow.
He bust out laughing.
Who was that guy?
That was Tommy Brown.
Tommy Brown.
He was one of the Veteran Services officers
Wow.
there, and he laughed for about a good 5 minutes.
Did it?
And I was feeling kind of stupid. Then he said, "Look, I'm sorry, we don't have any paid positions. We're all volunteer." Then he explained what NAVVETS does.
Yes.
Helping out with veterans, their claims, helping out the family, the community. I'd never heard of this, so I asked him, could I be involved? And he introduced me to the founder, Linnell Brown.
Yep.
And from there, I started working with them, working my way up, trying to build the organization and make it better.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Very proud to be a part of that.
Wow.
NAVVETS Portland, very active, very busy, and we're quite proud of what we do.
How long
in the
have you been in
community.
that position so far?
So I've been the commander now since 2018.
Since 2018.
Mm-hmm.
See, you've been there.
Yeah, so
Boy,
that's
boy.
something, and they vote me in, so it's not something where Napoleon just gets in and runs it. No, I have to be voted in. I was just voted in again this year.
Oh wow, wow,
Yeah.
awesome, man, awesome, man. Well, you sort of think when you mentioned Brown, I knew them both. You know, you had John. You know, John. I knew his brother John Brown. You remember John? You know John?
No, I only
Anyway.
knew Tommy and Linnell.
And Linnell, because Linnell, okay, but he was solid. He was a solid guy. I think he was a major or something, major in the army.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
a major in the army.
He hit lieutenant colonel, I believe. He retired at a lieutenant colonel.
Okay, cool. Yeah. He was quite a guy, And in fact, last time I saw him, we went to a concert or something, and he was there, and his wife and whatever, and we shot the breeze here. But I remember early on when he was putting that piece together, he's very committed to get that done. Went to the VA and the whole 9 yard, but he got it done. He got it done. And then, like I said, now fortunately we got you there chairing the piece, and so tell me about the organization.
So basically, when the pandemic shut the world down, in 2020, we shut down like everyone else. We stopped having access to the VA building. They shut it down. We were doing our work remotely, and then we also had to stop our in-person meetings. So we didn't start our in-person meetings back until this year.
Really?
But we opened the office last year in September of 2020. I mean 2023. So we've been taking clients in and working on claims since last year. But basically, we just started holding in-person meetings and working back with the community actively. Now we have done things during the pandemic, like we're part of the Portland, the city of Portland, when they had the technology grant. We were able to not only distribute our part of the grant to different people, and the technology grant was a laptop or an iPad, the technology associated with it, like a keyboard,
Right.
and also internet service for a year.
Wow.
So not only with NAVETS, we were able to put together some volunteers who contactlessly distribute all these things.
Right.
Another organization dropped out, but we were able to step in and take care of their piece too. So we've been working in the community, but we just had not been having in-person meetings.
This guy's quite an organizer, by the way. He really gets the job done. Trust me. That Globe and Anchor he really works on that piece big time. But you've been doing a good job. I think I'm thinking about the Good in the Hood too. You did that whole piece. And then when you were security or something like that.
Yes, we they approached us and they asked could we help them as far as the parade.
Right.
And basically the security at the site, and also the planning and the helping them execute the parade piece.
Yeah.
So that worked out. We had never worked with them before. They had a great team, and I just stepped in and basically I followed them, learned a lot,
Yes.
and that came in handy for me later
Awesome.
on when I found out something on your show
Awesome.
about the Veterans Day Parade.
Oh, wow. Well, now all of a sudden, like I said, and then it goes right into this situation that we're talking about this particular parade, but let's talk about how this became involved, because there was already an existing situation with the Broadway piece, right?
Right.
In Southeast Portland.
Right. They used to hold the Veterans Day Parade, for 40 plus years.
40
in
plus years.
Hollywood District.
Right, Hollywood.
So when
That's
the pandemic shut down the world in 2020, they canceled it. Then in 2021, I happened to be a guest on this show. One of the gentlemen told me that they had canceled it permanently. And I was thinking, no, this is too important.
I think that was Bruce. Was that Bruce with him? Bruce
I believe
Hall?
it was.
Yeah, the VFW, Veteran of Foreign Wars, which I'm a member of. But bottom line is that Bruce was a very dedicated person to VFW. But going on.
Yeah, so when I found out about that, I made it a point to start talking to people. And I found a lot of like-minded individuals who wanted to bring it back. So in 2022, we started planning the parade for 2022 in January. So we're able to hobble together the parade. We pulled it off successfully, and we've been moving forward ever since.
Awesome.
I got a great team working with me. Helped me plan all aspects of the parade, the logistics, the sponsors, the volunteers,
Awesome.
everything.
Awesome.
So
Well,
we're doing it again.
I tell you what, the city of Portland really appreciate that, because a lot of those young people and just citizens across the board really appreciate the fact, because Hollywood Parade, that was a huge parade. And people were involved. And then I think the thing that I really felt good about, because I talked to Bruce Hall. Bruce Hall happens to be the commander up at the chapter in North Portland for the VFW, and he was excited about it also too. And as my understanding, he's very much involved. But the whole idea is that someone was there to continue that parade, but it also included part of a community that, in all due respect, but it really wasn't part of that whole festival, because the Rose Festival Parade has always been, it always come so close to the community. It didn't involve the black community. It was a very legitimate community. You know, at one point in time, we had a legislative district called District 18 at one point in time, which was an entity. It was a legislative district at one time. But the idea is that there's always been this situation of the passionate situation from the standpoint of Portland's and an Oregonian, that they respected their black community. You got me? But by bringing that parade in there, all of a sudden it brought that particular part of the city and the state. And I thought that was neat.
And see, one thing, Bruce, we wanted to connect more with the community.
Yes.
So before it was in the Hollywood district.
Yes.
The first time we executed the parade, we moved it to a more central location on MLK Boulevard, starting on MLK and Beach and going north to MLK and Emerson, just before Killingsworth. So straight line, nice route, and basically we want to have more community members watching the parade, and also more community involvement. So that's what we're really working on right now.
Well, it's a parade. It's still a parade. But now you're trying to get a little bit more exclusive, a little bit more diverse aspect of it, which is good for the air of the community. Because, you know, it's really not it's quote, not a black, it's a community.
Yes.
Where a number of the residents happen to be black. Black Americans.
And we want to make sure everybody felt included.
Awesome.
You know,
and since the Globe and Anchor was running the charge, I thought that was good. And Marine Corps made it one way, because we were all green. You know, we were one member aspect of it. But anyway, I wanted to make sure you understood what that history was about, and it will continue to be on. And it's like anything else. And knowing Napoleon and where his mindset is on this whole piece, and what's happening is that it will be part of Portland across the board.
Yes.
Forever and ever. Again.
Yes, that's our goal, to make it a permanent part of the
And if it has to be extended, whether it go this way or that way, I know what he will do. He'll just call in another battalion and get it done. Well, now, what about today? And let's talk about that parade piece for a minute. Okay, I've got the poster right here. Let's talk a little bit about what you're doing this year for the parade. So the date and all that other good stuff.
So this year is going to be on Monday, November 11th.
Okay.
This is one of our original posters. Our posters get changed every year to show a new parade. And basically starts at 10 a.m. And we have a closing ceremony as well that will let people, at our closing ceremony location, we have resources for the community.
Wow.
And we also have vendors that are, exchanging their products for the community. So basically interacting. Food courts this year. So basically we're having a lot of individuals that are involved. And now that the word is getting out more, we have more a diverse set of speakers at the end. So once you see the parade, it's not over when the last person follows you. Just come to the end, watch the closing ceremony, because you're going to be entertained. You have an opportunity to buy nice food.
Yes, right.
And then also an opportunity to interact with different vendors too.
Wow. Well, who put this poster together?
Our poster designer actually happens to be here. His name is Sean Flynn.
Sean Flynn?
Yes. And he
what's his wife's name?
His name is her name is Jessica.
Jessica?
Yeah, but Sean is the one behind this.
You know, these guys are politically correct. This is a women's rights piece in there. Who thought of that piece?
You brought up a good point, because when he designed it, last year's poster had various members of the military in there. This year we started off with we introduced a poster in March, which is Women's History Month.
Yes, right.
Have a female on there prominently.
Oh wow! This
and
is perfect.
Basically, I think he did an excellent job.
Yes, I mean his wife did. I mean, no, sorry.
No,
he's doing it in his stove.
Okay, you're gonna get me beat up, but no, Sean did it.
Sean's in the studio. I want you to know that he's in the studio. We didn't have a chair. We thought we'd talk about this other piece. But in all due respect, Sean is very active in the community, big time community, and his wife is very, very active in the community. And then the mere fact that it's politically correct. This is the women. This is the year of the woman. Okay, the year of the women.
We want to make sure that they got their due.
They got their due. They got their fresh. I'm going to show this poster one more time. Here, the Voters Digest. Here they are, right here. And just to make sure, I know Sean's wife said probably you will be at the show. So he's sitting up there in the chair right on the side here. No problem. Good job, John.
And then just want to mention to the viewers who didn't see it, if you go to veteransdayportland.org, That's the website, and you can still click to volunteer
Okay.
to participate.
Really?
Because we're trying to make the parade as big and
Yes.
exciting as possible.
Good.
So we're taking participants and the organizations
Yes.
all the way up until the Friday the 8th.
Wow.
You can still sign up, and it doesn't cost you anything to participate in the
Wow.
parade.
Again, that's www.veteransdayportland.org. Spell it out, some of these young old folks like me. Veterans, VETERANSDAY, Portland, PORTLAND.org. Makes it very easy, very simple. You know what I mean? And you say all the information is there.
Yes, and we are a 501c3 nonprofit.
501c3, that means right up front, we're a nonprofit organization here too. They need support and whatever. And then getting right back to the NAVVETS aspect of it. I know you have an organization, right? You got
Yes.
me? And some of the notables on there, I think Paul is still still
Yes.
hanging
Yeah.
in there?
The mayor's
he's
still
probably-
there.
The mayor's still there. Yeah, he's involved now, so to speak, very much so. Okay, we got that, and you got a lot of the other guys. In fact, I'm a
Yes.
member. I've been a member for quite some time too, and you got Sean. And so my point is that it's well, and right. I take it if anybody is in the military can join the organization.
Exactly. We will help anyone who walks through our door. We will allow a membership to anyone who walks through our door, because we started NAVVETS back in right after the Vietnam era.
Right.
And basically, when the black service members came back,
Yeah.
a lot of organizations didn't want to work with
Exactly.
them. So we had to start our own. But we made it our point to say that we'll help anyone who walks in the door. We're not going to treat people like we were treated.
Right.
So
right.
we'll help you no matter what.
And if if you're white, you can join the organization.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah,
And we do
you're
have white members right now.
Yeah, you got whites now in there,
Yes.
right? So if you're a military person, you can join NAVVETS.
Yes.
Just like if you're a military person, you can be a VFW. I'm a lifetime member of VFW, lifetime member of the Buffalo Soldiers. You know, only the Buffalo Soldiers, but it's a large organization, and at the same time, I was very much involved. I'm a lifetime member of the Marine Corps League. So my point is that it's good to do that. These are all organizations, if you will.
Yes.
And so you've got options.
Right.
And so they make it good. But the fact of the matter is, this one is special because, in fact, they get involved in community. And that's a key piece. They get involved in community. And so I would recommend you give them a call. Check them out. Again, this is the Veterans Day piece. But what about the NAVVETS piece? Is there a website for the NAVVETS that you can
Yes.
call?
Our website is navvetsportland.org.
NAVVETS,
So
okay.
also
Spell that out for them.
Okay.
Really good.
NAB as in boy, V as in Victor, ET as in Tom, S as in Sam, Portland, all spelled out,
Okay.
.org.
Okay, so if they want to join the organization, check that out, right?
Yes.
Got me? Is there a phone number? A lot of times people you don't normally give you a number out, right?
Oh yeah, we have an office in the VA regional building.
Okay.
So our office phone number is 503-412-4159.
Sounds great.
And we take walk-ins Monday, Wednesday, and Friday
Right.
from 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock.
Right.
And just keep in mind, when you come to the building, you do have to go through security.
See,
so
that's right. That's right.
leave your arsenal at home.
That's right.
And then they're not
Hold
going
on,
to let you bring it in.
We're at Arsenal now.
Yeah.
Globe and Anchor on it. But you know, I might add too that in fact I'm very active as far as services, as far as getting their benefits and members. Because that's no vets left behind. That's one of the things that I do, and I've used the organization.
Yes.
I've taken folks over to the organization, to that deal, and they've done an excellent job. I mean, when I think about what Brown did from the standpoint, the volume of dollars that were received by veterans across the board, not just black veterans, but veterans across the board.
Exactly.
I mean, they've got their benefits big time. So if you ever want to check in on your benefits and this, that, and the other, you can add, because that's the service that you guys are providing,
Right.
right?
We're trying to make sure, because
That's part of the services that you provide as
Exactly.
far as NAVVETS is concerned.
Right, because when I got out the Marine Corps, I had no idea about
Yeah.
services,
Yeah.
disability, anything.
Right.
We're trying to make sure that other people aren't in that same
Right.
situation.
All military guys.
You know.
Yep. So good deal. Yeah, this is quite an organization. One, and two, they're participating in communities. I mean, in the community, in the Portland community.
Yes.
I mean, you think about it, that if in fact that you guys hadn't stood up on that piece, we wouldn't have had the Hollywood parade, the Veterans Day parade.
Right, because
You wouldn't have been
they
there.
permanently canceled it.
They just permanently canceled. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, you know, 'cause, thanks for serving. That's the other thing that they were giving out the poppies. It was the only entity that basically identified with
Yeah.
the poppies. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I know that the VFW, for sure, Bruce Hall, my commander on that other end, the VFW aspect of it, they're going to be part of the parade.
Yes.
I think very much so, and we putting out those poppies.
Yeah, Bruce is on the planning team too.
Yeah, he's on.
We meet every
oh,
week,
yeah, Bruce
you know.
is definitely on the planning scene, the big time aspect of it. I've been doing the parade with him for several years, if at this point in time. So this is a good thing, and I wanted to make sure that I share this with you. And then the other thing that I wanted to do is that they recognize the women. I like that. They recognize the women. I mean that's very political. I wonder who put that politically correct thing in there. I mean,
Yeah, so our idea man, Sean.
his idea, man. Yeah. I think he's a Marine. Is he a Marine?
No, he wasn't good enough.
Oh,
to
well,
be in
gee
the
whiz,
Marine
I'm
Corps.
gonna have to talk to him about that situation. No problem. We do have participants.
Yes, and we can have him as our mascot, maybe. But he
Oh,
wasn't in the Marine Corps.
yeah, okay.
I wish y'all could see the look on his face.
Sean's good people, but this really was. I think everything is good. It's a good feeling aspect of it, because especially now I wanted to do this piece with you along that line and what we're doing right now, because everybody's so tensed up in this election aspect of it.
Oh, yeah.
No, hey, communicate. It's all about communication. Sit at the table and talk about it. You know, and because one thing I learned when I was in the Marine Corps, my commanding general, whoever sat in that seat was the one that I voted for. I mean, I didn't even have to vote. He was sitting in that seat.
Yeah,
Who
but-
was in charge, right? In charge.
But Bruce, you bring up a good point. Everybody is keyed up about this election and who might win and who might not win,
Right.
or whether it's accepted or whatever. Think about this. No matter how you feel about the election, the parade is a week after
It's
the
a week
election.
after?
So you can come and relax with your family, fun family-filled event, and forget the politics.
Well, good.
Just
Well,
come and enjoy the parade.
Well, I
you know?
like the way you brought that in, because I was trying to be nice about it.
Yeah.
but the fact of the matter is, you're right. You get it. But like you said, it still is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Right.
Okay, got me? And everybody has one vote.
You need to use it.
Only in this country,
Exactly.
one vote.
And if you don't use it, you don't
and
have no way to complain.
And according to those amendments, okay, those first two, freedom of speech and the carry the arm, right? But the freedom of speech, right?
Yes.
You can say whatever you want to say. You can vote for whoever you want to say. And if you say something that the other person doesn't want to agree with, all I would do is say one thing. Ask them, well, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What's your position on this? And then you guys discuss it. You can agree to disagree, okay? But at the end of the day, whoever sits in that seat will be the president of the United States.
Yes.
Okay, got me? And then we're going through all these. I mean, folks are just going back and forth. And, I mean, I hate to put it just real quick. Like someone thought maybe, well, they put a flag. I mean, I live in a place where they say, well, they put a flag so that I could see it off of their house, and they put, due respect, they put Miss Harris's Kamala. And so they thought there was, because I'm the only brother living in the area. So I thought, well, what's that? I said, but you got to understand, I'm an unaffiliated voter, so to speak, and I've had training from the standpoint of where I came from this Corps. And so my thing was that, like, I respect whoever that person that sits in that chair. And I know we got quite a quality and things. Anyway, I can go on and on, but I've got another gentleman getting ready to come in. We're gonna get him on, and I'm gonna get him in here so he can get in here. Another jarhead, by the way. And he's a solid kind of a guy too. Okay, good. But anyway, look, get out there and vote, by the way. But other than that, thanks very much for doing what you're doing
Well, I
with
appreciate your
NavVest.
time, Bruce.
And hey, anything
All right.
we can do to help out on that. But we'll keep this posted so we can put that out
Yes.
on another deal. Okay.
Yeah, I brought that for you. Okay?
Sounds good. All right then.
All right, sir.
Well, thank you very much. Now we're going to go on, and we're just going to switch some chairs here.
Yeah, sir.
And we'll get Napoleon over here.
Come on
and
over.
then Jim will come on over. Come on, Jim. No problem. Everything. This is
Bye,
community
everybody.
television.
I didn't
Come on,
have to
Jim.
break
Yeah,
up
come
the
on.
party
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
No.
Marine. Yeah, come on, Marine. Get on in there. No, ain't no party. You know. How you doing, buddy?
Oh,
Yeah, just come on in and have a
I'm
seat
doing
here.
okay, I think.
Come over here a little bit more.
not
Push your
walking.
chair a little. There you go.
Not
You're in good
walking
shape.
as easy as I'd like.
I
but,
heard that. You looking good today.
well, thank you.
Oh, my friend.
How you doing? You okay?
Oh, just fine. I just basically, that was another Marine you just.
Well,
yeah.
Well, happy birthday. We're sneaking up on it.
You know the Hollywood parade, the Veterans Day parade. Well, guess what? When they basically said we're not going to have it anymore. Guess who stepped up to the plate? A Marine.
Yeah.
There he is, right there.
Well, good for you.
And they basically got this thing back on, and we're just adding on to it. So the kids can really get out on that date and participate in the life.
I know that our post commander Bruce Hall.
Yeah, Bruce Hall, big time. He's there. He's going to be here this year. In fact, I'll probably have to go on and Bruce is my CO, and I got 2 COs now, but I'll probably drive in that parade just to make sure we get that done. So you may have to ride with me.
Well,
I got to ride with you.
That'll do in your reputation.
Oh no, by no means. No, we Joy is right.
That's right. Well, all for the Corps.
Definitely for the Corps. See, so right up front with you. Yes, I'm going to definitely participate in the parade and probably parade in the VFW parade because you're a member. We're both members.
Yeah.
And so my point is that it would be an honor to have you in there, buddy.
Well,
so we can just
we're
in the parade.
among friends.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Exactly. Well, look, why don't we go on and get into our situation? I wanted to make sure that, and let me pull out some of this stuff that I wanted to make sure that I put on the table now. I'm going to keep this. I don't
know if I'd be familiar with everything, but
no, but let's see how much time we got. Yeah, we got. Hey, this is great. We got another good 30 minutes. Now we're going to get into politics. I was going to get Sean in there, but I'm going to be nice to him this time around. I'm going to get him on another day. I'm going to get his wife in here going this week. But the bottom line is, I thought I'd pull out some of this stuff here. Now, what I'm doing now, folks, these are the activities that we've been going through just of late. Jesus Christ. I mean, I was getting all kinds of stuff at the house, trying to figure out what the heck do you do with all this stuff. I mean, I had letters, I had all kinds of stuff, and
need a bigger mailbox.
I mean, Jesus Christ, the mailbox was just going on over. Look at this. This thing is so thick. We got the candidates running in here.
Yeah.
We got the voters pamphlets. We got newspapers all over. Willamette Week and all kinds of stuff and voters. I mean, and then look at all of the brochures. I mean, now understand now these all this stuff that you're getting now. Most of these people didn't have to worry about paying for this stuff. And then people say, well, Bruce, what do you mean? No, they pay for this. They say, oh, no. There's a donors program now. We're in the city of Portland, you know. You can basically, they gave you a nice pot of money. At least minimum about 40,000, and in some cases you can get more than that. But the bottom line, look at these brochures. That's paid for by the public. The public paid for all of this stuff. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, and I thought the idea was that when they first started out, the idea was to give up a couple bucks, you know what I mean, and you'll go out and knock on a door, right? And that way you were able to familiarize yourself with the voting public aspect of it. But under this time around, you could have hired a business. A business was going on. You could pay them to go and knock on the door for you and pick up the money. And you can read about that in the Willamette Week and things of that nature. But I guess people were questioning about this. So sometimes you have to think about. But the fact is that's the way it was, right? You got me? Yeah, well. But we got all of you got this, that, and the other. I'm just putting this on there just to let you know, and I'm sure you got the same deal. But I'm reminding you getting all this material aspect of it. And the whole idea is to trying to figure out we need leadership. Go on, Jim. Talk to me.
Well, all I can say is as the table fills up, and just as your mailbox filled up, and like we all fill up, it's at some point to me, early on, it seems like, here locally and regionally and in some cases nationally, this just becomes kind of a sensory overload. There's so much of it, it becomes almost impossible to differentiate. And additionally, when the sameness of the responses to different issues, here locally, or there's homeless, drug abuse, or housing, or cost of living, it strikes me that very quickly for anybody, even if you wanted to differentiate between the candidates, it becomes almost like a scripted event. It's almost like they're reading from the same lines and trying to differentiate between somebody who's raising their hand and says I'm better than that person is. It almost becomes meaningless, and to the point where you can't differentiate between them. It's just the sameness of the whole thing. And so all of these things are fascinating, the different promotionals and different things, but I don't know at the end of the day if they really reach anybody, in the sense that I have more people at this point in discussion with people, whether it's their mailbox or whether it's the TV. They're going, I'm sick of these ads. I want this over with. I'm not paying any attention to any of this stuff because they all sound the same to me. And, I don't want my mailbox filled up with this because I can't tell Tweedledee from Tweedledum. And so why are they doing this? So, again, it's you know how you get elected without doing it, but if someone were to ask me to clearly differentiate one candidate from another and how their positions are different, I couldn't do it, and I don't know anybody who can. No. So therein is, and I don't have any alternatives. I don't have any answers to this. I'm not real profound this way or otherwise, but I question the utility in this type of thing. Is that, and additionally, it seems like every election cycle, the information on the media, whether it's a radio, TV, or in your mailbox, gets longer and longer and longer. It reminds me a little bit of what happens each year with Christmas celebrations. There was a time when I was a much, much younger man, it became Christmas time. Well, now it becomes Christmas in August, so pretty soon by the time Halloween comes around, you just turn around and you're going, where are all these Christmas displays coming from? And all of the stores are advertising Christmas, this and that. And I think the same analogy is true of many of the conditions surrounding the elections. They start so early and they sound so much alike. By the time it becomes possible to cast a ballot, you just close your eyes and go throw a dart and go, I don't know. Because there's nothing out there that tells me any different. They might, the structure of their sentence might be different, and they might rearrange the verbs and the adjectives a few times, but in the final analysis, they all claim to address certain issues we all identify with, but that's where it stops. They're going, well, we're going to have to do something different, and this hasn't worked. And when I get elected, we're going to do something that'll result in a different outcome. And but what is it? They're going, well, I don't know. Talk to me later about that. Now just elect me. get me out there. So, and then you come to the sarcastic, cynical, and not just but this is the observations of many citizens, is that many, I can't say, maybe I can say many. I mean, I can't give you a name or anything like that, but many of the constituent citizens say, these are people who are looking for a jumping off place. I may run for city council. Who knows what the city council even is? This next election cycle, even the people involved can't tell you what it's supposed to be. But
good point.
But the realization is, I've got to run for the city council because, wink, wink, I'm really looking to be mayor. And if I'm mayor, that Salem position looks pretty hot to me. But I got to start somewhere. So you wonder. if their name is out there frequently enough that, yeah, and perhaps they don't win, but if they keep throwing their hat in the ring, and that the name, identity, and affiliation may at some point maybe get them elected, but it also might give them the wherewithal to say, this is a starting point. You've heard of me before. I'm not a neophyte at this, and so elect me for this position or that position, and the next time around you're going, oh, for heaven's sakes, the guy's running for mayor, the person's running for mayor, and pretty soon you're running for some type of congressional seat within your district, and you're gonna run from the city to the county, and so you wonder how the commitment by many of these people, I'm not doubting, I'm sure some of them are perfectly honest and they believe what they're doing, but on the other hand, the back of their mind's got to be, I didn't, whether it's a business situation or whether it's a political situation, in the Corps, you don't, I didn't enlist. When I first enlisted, I wasn't commissioned a full bird colonel.
Right.
I had to start as a private. I had to start somewhere. So whether you're wanting to work as the CEO for Nike, well, I had to start at 7-Eleven.
That's right.
So I had got to crawl before you can walk, and so I'm wondering that. What percentage of these people can say, okay, there's only a fraction of them that are going to be elected. Nobody who knows what they're talking about in the first. They don't know what they're talking about, but they can come around in the next election cycle and say, well, I remember that name. I remember, and they go, well, what do you remember them for? I don't remember them for anything. Nothing, because they didn't say anything. But I've mentioned this to you before, and I think a certain way it has application. But obviously, I'm not a young man, and I can speak to anybody in this room. But when we were in grade school or high school, even in English class, they had these. People don't even know what they are anymore, but they had these things called blackboards. Remember? I don't mean to scare you, but they had chalk, but you'd have an English composition teacher, and go, okay, Bruce, look at this chalkboard. Look at all these words up here. They don't make a bit of sense, do they? You go, well, no, they don't. They said, but you know what? If you rearrange these words, there's a beautiful, complete sentence. You need to put the verbs where the adjective possession and the adverb and the pronoun, and it is something stunning. Shakespeare would be proud of you. But right now it doesn't make a bit of sense. And I think that politically, when people are just out there throwing darts against the wall and hoping that they hit a target, is like trying to rearrange a sentence. And you've got to get in there and say, this is fascinating, but what you're telling me doesn't make a bit of sense to me, because you're telling me the same thing the person next to me is saying. Yeah, the adverb and the verb might be a little different, but it's meaningless. So I just, if someone were to ask me, what's the alternative, I'm really a smart guy. I know the difference. I don't, but I'm saying that I think that I'm not seeing anybody out there that's in a position that says I'm standing alone. I walk alone. I'm different than this. And if they were, they might be committing political suicide for that matter, as far as that goes, because what you might say is what I think is necessary to combat this situation would be like, this is terrible. We've got to go back to doing nothing. That's what we'll do. That's what we do. And then we look, words on everybody's lips running here locally.
Right.
Okay, the homelessness and the drug abuse issue, and all these politicians who were 3 years ago were all in favor of legalizing drugs.
Yes.
Now they're all running as fast. I wasn't me. I was a mistake. I didn't do that. And I'm different than Bruce, and I'm different than these gentlemen. And so the condition is that you just these people are so much the same, and they're so terrified of stepping out and saying, here's what we've been doing to mitigate the homeless and the drug abuse the last 45, 50 years. Now listen, it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked at all. But I got a great idea. Let's double down and do it again. I mean, this time let's do it and make it cost 3 times as much. Because it has never worked before. But don't ask, what can be done? Well, if I tell you what I think can be done, you're going to label me as anti-Christian. You're going to label me as inhumane. You're going to label me as insensitive. You're going to label me as not understanding. It's like, okay, Spears, you don't get the bigger picture, okay? Going, okay, I've got 2 or 3 weeks. Tell me what the bigger picture is. What is it? Come on. That's the bigger picture? Oh, that sounds a great deal like, that guy tell me what the bigger picture was 40 years ago. That worked out well, didn't it? Let's do it again. But my gosh, you can trust me this time. I've got better ideas to get. And so I just think it's difficult for somebody who wants to do the right thing and don't waste their votes because it's a incredible unconstitutional gift to be able to do so. But a lot of what happened is that it's just made it difficult for people to differentiate one candidate from another and political party from another. They'll point to, this guy he's a Hitler, or and this one's going over here, he's Joseph Stalin, or and this one over here, he's Mao Zedong. And well, that's fascinating, but I'd like to tell me how I can buy my bread a little less expensive. But we're going to get to that. That's I got a plan for that. But I just think. And people become cynical, and as they should become cynical and sarcastic, and and I think it's a similar analogy in the political arena as using COVID as an example, because that's fresh in everyone's mind and it's resurging. The COVID condition is that right now. The sarcastic, I'll backtrack here, was that I've had I'm kind of fond of the English language. I've got a lot of stuff published. I write a lot of things. Shakespeare's safe, don't get me wrong, but I take issue with some words right now. They scare me because of the frequency they're used. One of them is free. Okay, buy one, get 2 free. Okay, wait a minute. Red alert here. Another one that scares me is crisis. That's used so frequently because once you declare a crisis or an emergency, then that nullifies things like it's similar to declaring martial law. Well, we don't have to worry about that pesky document. Remember that one they called the Constitution?
Yes.
Things in the way. Or another that's really gets my goat is the term expert, and here's where I'll try to tie this together, and with using the election, but using COVID as well. It's like I don't know about COVID. I mean, I didn't know any more than anyone else, except that nobody wants to say because nobody wants to offend the Chinese because, well, that's another issue. But all kinds of experts came out and said, here's what you need to do to protect yourself against experts. Some of them said to make sure that if you do this, you won't get COVID. You need to get a shot, and then you have to get a series of boosters. And I'm an expert. I'm a doctor. I'm an expert, and I've got legions of other experts behind me that'll validate what I'm saying. I'm going, well, that's fascinating. I turn the channel, and I got another TV or radio or something, and I'm going, well, I'll be darned. There's a whole bunch of more experts, but they're saying the exact reverse. of what the other experts saying. You're completely foolish if you're putting these unknown substances in your body, which have not proven to be effective against COVID to the way they said it had. But you should believe me because I'm an expert. And I'm going, well, I can choose legions of experts that have qualifications. I'm a doctor, I'm a PhD, I'm a professional, I've got 40 years experience. And what we end up at today is that trying to pick I shouldn't say this, I won't say it here, but trying to validate their condition, cynically, is that in order to find out what these experts are really saying and why, what we need to do is find out who's paying them. That's who the expert is. And so you can be an expert on anything you want, depending on the interest group and the pharmacy and that are paying you. So to a similar degree, these people running for political offices are not running in a vacuum. They've got people behind them that are saying, if I contribute to your campaign and I get in there, I didn't do this because I like you. In fact, I didn't do it because I think you know what you're talking about, but I think you're electable. And so, therefore, that's what we'll do. And so I just think that, again, harken back to, the words that scare me, expert. It's like every time someone tells me, and it's used so frequently, you can't go anywhere. Well, here's an expert on the subject. Here's an expert. Lord, how many experts? Or another one that is just so common in our vocabulary today, you can't, politically especially, is the word progressive. I'm a progressive Democrat, or I'm a progressive Republican, or I'm a progressive candidate. And I'm going, well, but in my simple military mind, the aging Marine, I'm going, isn't the root word for progressive progress? And isn't everything you advocate for regressive in nature? But you just say, tell me I'm a progressive. If I say it enough, I'm a progressive. I'm going, but what you're advocating for is regressive in nature. Every progressive on the planet 4 years ago was in this circle in the Portland metropolitan area was all jumping on. They couldn't jump on board fast enough to legalize drugs in small applications. Well, I'm a progressive Democrat. I'm a progressive this or that or whatever I am, and now they can't run fast enough from it because it's like this didn't work out very well, did it? And it's like, I've got another idea. I'm a progressive, and I know a way to combat our increase in crime rate. Let's defund the police. That's worked well everywhere else, hasn't it? So it's failed every place else, but why? Let's do it here, and let's do it in the name of being a progressive. And oh, by the way, I've got this whole series of experts who will tell you it's a great idea. And I'm going, well, wait a minute, 4 years later, they're running like crazy going, how do we get the funds up to get more cops on the street? What are these people thinking? And so I don't have any answers. I'm not a smart man. I'm none of these things, and I'm not a sage. No one should go to me. But I'm looking at issues that are at the forefront of the political season currently, and whether it's nationally or otherwise, is like and going, well, things they're all addressing, and I'm going, I may not, well, I might have an answer, but it wouldn't be the one you want to hear. But all these people, to a greater extent, like you said, it's like dissecting the sentence. They're just rearranging the words and going, well, at the end of the day, this has never worked before, but trust me, I'll make it work this time out. Oh, well, that's that, and why should I do that? And so, well, I can contribute to my campaign. That would help me, give me some money. And going, oh Lord, that just it's. And again, I don't have an answer to it, excepting to say that somebody, and I don't see that somebody in this mix here locally, whether it's a city or county, and to a greater degree, nationally, but I'm trying to stay here local with all this stuff. But I don't see somebody stepping up and saying, you know what, time out. I don't want to hear any more of this. Every one of these people are saying the same thing. They're reading from the same script. They're all telling me, I'm going to do this again. It's never worked before, but I think I have the key to making it work. You go, what is that key? I don't just elect me. I'll tell you later. But I've got experts that'll give me some validation of what I'm thinking about. But I don't see anybody that's saying this is going to work. And the thing that's bothersome to me, and again, I want to emphasize again, I'm no expert. No one's coming knocking my door and say, you're so smart, let me ask you what to do. I might tell them the truth too about what I think had to be done, but we're told as citizens almost across the board, what you need to do is stop believing your eyes and ears. Stop believing what you hear and see, and believe what we tell you through the media. Yes, homelessness has a quantum leap jumped, and everybody in the area can see this. But powers that be and in the media and otherwise will say, your problem is you're believing your eyes. You should believe, no, the homelessness issue, the drug abuse issue is getting better. You're going, well, it doesn't appear that way to me. And he said, well, that's where you're going wrong. You've got to put on binders and cover your ears, because you're just torturing yourself to believe what you see and hear. What you need to do is believe what we tell you. And I'm going to run for office, and I'll tell you I have a solution for this. I mean, I look, for 4 years I've heard them, again, just on a bigger but still easily identifiable condition. I'm told that the border with Mexico is secure. Well, where do all these people come from then? How can it be secure? Well, that's your problem. You're believing what you saw on TV. No. This administration, they parade these people out here. We got the border czar, we got the Queen of Sheba, we've got everything else, and they'll tell you that no, that's just a bunch of propaganda. I'm going, well, in a microcosm to a lesser degree, I'm thinking, we're being told, you're just fools for believing your eyes and ears. You need to believe what you're told, and if you go to what you learn in at Portland State University in Urban Studies, 101, and they'll tell you what you need to know. And I'm going, well, haven't we been doing this for 50 years? And that's your problem. You read this book. Forget about what you saw for the last 50 years. This book will tell you exactly what we need to do to solve the problem. So I just I want to be positive. I want to be someone who points out what I think is accurate. I mean, people take issue. We say maybe what I'm saying hasn't got a word of truth to it. Now, I'll say a prayer for you and say thank you. But I think that at some level, I'm right in the sense that I can look at history. I can look at history last week. I can look at history 50 years ago. I can say, in large part, what we're talking about hasn't worked. If it had worked, we wouldn't be in this situation. And I'm using homelessness because that's at the forefront of everybody's campaign. How we're going to address homelessness. And And I get in trouble, Bruce. I've got stuff published.
You doing well. Keep on going.
I've got in trouble with people when they say, "Okay, smart ass, you tell me what you do about homelessness." And I was going, well, first off, I would have enough backbone to not run for office and say I'm going to replicate the same thing that hasn't worked. Yeah. And the next thing I would do would be say, I'm fond of, and most of the viewing audience here has seen the movie. If you haven't, go look it up. An old 40-year-old movie with 35 with Kevin Costner. Remember The Field of Dreams?
Yes.
The Fields of Dreams. Mm-hmm. Well, one of the public's favorite phrases from that movie was, "Build it and they will come." When he was getting the people from out of the cornfield to come and play ball, from Babe Ruth and Shoeless Joe Jackson, all those people. Well, my observation here with homelessness and drug abuse is like, we've told that Portland and surrounding counties has a very, I'm using in quotes, a well-deserved reputation nationally for being one of the premier places to go if you want to use drugs, you want to be homeless. The police are instructed to not bother you. You know where to go to get help. You have to work to overdose because the fire department responds to, they don't even fight fires anymore, they just go to overdoses. But instead of inviting these people here by saying this is the best place in the country to go, we've cut back the police. We've told the police if they arrest you, they'll get fired, or a variety of things that have made it so advantageous to the metropolitan area to attract the single most problems that everybody's running for office has addressed. My observation is that, why are we telling them, Kevin Costner, build it and they will come? Why aren't we saying, hey, this will be the worst experience of your life if you show up here? It'll take 6 weeks for your ass to catch up with your head when you're done bouncing because this isn't going to work. But no, we're inviting them here, and then we go, hey, I got this great idea. I'm going to run for office, and we'll build our way out of this. Oh no, really? That's worked really well, hasn't it? And how many trillions is that going to cost? And when you tell people that not only will we take you off the street and feed you and help you and do this variety of things, which, by the way, 85% of the people on the street won't accept that help because if there's rules that go with it, that they're not going, if there are curfews and things of that nature, then they're not going to go for it. But we're inviting people, making it very clear nationally. I won't tell which paper because I'm not writing for him any further, but it was just doing some guest writing, and this is like 6 years ago, when we did some work and found there were 4 cities, and this is just public knowledge. And I think it was Nashville and Atlanta and might have been New Orleans and I forget which one, but 4 of them, and there's more. But they were, taking their homeless population, giving them $50 and a one-way Greyhound ticket to Portland. Portland. They're going, this is great. Kevin Costner love you here. Build it and they will come. There's no reason not to come here. Why would you go anywhere else? And then simultaneously, this is like 3 years ago. I won't say the paper. I don't want to get sued, but a well-known local paper. They said, well, there's a group of people that from the paper and from Portland State and other auxiliary locations, and we're going to get these groups of people, and we're going to go out into homeless camps.
Tell you what, hold on that one, because this is a series on this time around. Okay,
Oh,
you got
right.
me? This was your introduction to begin with.
Oh.
We got more to talk about. So what we're going to do, we're going to go on and say to the viewing audience, hey, you got to join in for the next show. So the bottom line is that we're going to continue on, and we're going to just talk to solutions too, in terms of what we feel could solve these problems. So with that, we're just going to close up and say, look at the next shows. Number 2, and as one would say, JB will be here with you. Okay, that's Jim and Bruce. Take care. I'll see you on this next round.
That's it. We're done.